everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Reviews After Midnight. And on this video, we are going to be looking at, but I got to get my sheet. I can't say the name yet. Film title. Would you also like to include a star rating here? So here's my list that I always use. So the film title is The Groundstar Conspiracy. This is from Kino, and it's a boutique, Kino Lorber, and it is a film that I have never seen before. I liked the synopsis. I like the box art, which is also its poster. I like who's in it, and so I bought it when they had one of their sales and just always wanted to watch it, but never got around to it. It is directed by Lamont Johnson, and we'll look a little more into him later on. But he did direct Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, and he also did Visiting Hours, which has Michael Ironside. Which Space Hunter for Adventures in the Forbidden Zone also has Michael Ironside. So I was looking at all my movies, and I was trying to figure out which one to watch to do a review for. And I went through like 3 of them, and it was just like, I've always wanted to see this. So let's do this. And this is it's 1972, it's in color, 95 minutes, it's widescreen. And like I said, it's Kino Lorber, and it's Universal. So it's got Christine Belford. I've not heard of before. From what I understand, she was a last minute addition. There were a few other actresses who dropped out for various reasons. George Papard is the main person in this, who I think just does a great job. Then there is Michael Salazar, which is him right here. As a kid, I was a massive fan of this guy. I had no idea what his name was. But if there was something on TV and I saw his, picture come up, like his face, I would watch it. I don't know what it was. I was a huge fan of this guy as a kid. And so going off my sheet here, can you also include a star rating? So if I'm just going, like 5 stars, let's say, because I do find the ending to be a little confusing, and I had to go back and rewatch it, and this does have audio commentary by 2 filmmakers that are also like film historians, and that didn't help any because they never talked about the twist that's at the end, which once I saw it a second time and then went back and kind of reviewed a couple other scenes, I enjoyed it a lot more. So I would probably say this is, out of 5, maybe like a 3.5, if I'm going to review it. And I do recommend it. It's just one of those films that's made in the early 70s, that just, it's a good taunt conspiracy thriller, which is weird because they kind of play it off as a science fiction movie, which it's not. And I did click into the audio commentary a couple times, and even the 2 filmmakers talk about sci-fi. And that's because it is based on a book called The Alien, by Herbert Jenkins. And or it could be Herbert Jenkins SF. That's how they have it listed. Davies, maybe. I think it's also Davies. L.P. Davies, 1968 novel, The Alien, which is, I guess they kind of removed more of the sci-fi element from this, because here's the synopsis of the book. Set in 2016, whoa, way in the future, the plot concerns a man of unknown origins, to himself and others, it would seem, who wakes from an accident in hospital with no memory of his identity. the man on a quest to solve the riddle in his head. Riddle being, who is he? Where is he from? Who can he trust? Where is he going? And what was his life before the accident? Attempts to recover his memory lead to the suspicion that he may be a member of an alien race. And then it says here, filmed in 1972 as the Groundstar Conspiracy. Um, that is not in this movie at all. He is called the alien a couple times, but I took it that when he goes into these, because he kind of breaks into these like government facilities, and they say like the alien is here, that they just mean the alien as in he's not supposed to be there. He's alien to the place, so that's the code name that they give him, because they never mention anything about him being like an extraterrestrial. Even this picture on the box, this kind of but sort of doesn't happen in the movie. At the beginning, during the credits, there are explosions because he's escaping from a lab, and we get that. But this kind of makes it look like something else. But that's no. Um, but it's I really enjoyed this film. It's just around that time period that I love, 60s, 70s. I think that's the best time for music. I think it's the best time for movies. I love the 60s and 70s, and which is why I picked this up without even knowing really what it was. I just went into it blind. Um, so what this here says, so let's look at, okay, so the Groundstar Conspiracy is a 1972 American neo-noir crime film directed by Lamont Johnson. It stars George Papard and Michael Cesarian. Yeah, taken from the novel, 1968 novel, The Alien. So, and it looks like it's Hal Roach Jr. is one of the producers on this. Um, this has a whole bunch of like character actors in it that I'm 57, so I recognize a lot of these people in here. These actors that are part of the military, or they're part of the government, or they're just part of like a business organization. I would recognize them from many, many movies. A lot of younger people may not, but I enjoyed watching a lot of these character actors pop in and out of this movie. So, the back of this, so we're going to read the back. And so it's okay. So, what we have here is brand new 2K master. The fuse is lit, the trap is set, the explosive conspiracy has begun. From Lamont Johnson, the director of A Covenant with Death, The McKinsey Break. Oh, he did Lipstick? And Cattle Annie and Little Britches. I think that's one title. Cattle Annie and Little Britches. Did more than that. Comes this exciting espionage thriller starring George Papard, Rough Night in Jericho, and Michael Sarzarian, The Resurrection of Peter Proud. That was an awesome flick. Which is funny is his character in this, I believe his name is David. Yeah, David. Um, loses his memory after the accident. So the terrorist attack on this lab that he's escaping from. Um, because he has a tape. You got to remember this is 1972, so he has like a cassette of these secrets, and that's basically why all these corporations and governments and stuff are now after him as he's on the run. But so his memory is gone. He barely knows who he is, and there is a part in this film where he gets like waterboarded, and the resurrection of Peter Proud, he doesn't know who he is. and he keeps having these flashbacks to somebody that he doesn't remember, and a lot of it takes place in water. So I thought that's kind of weird that you've got these similarities. But the resurrection of Peter Pratt is really good. Let's see. A violent blast destroys a U.S. government's top secret uh, Groundstar research complex, and six high-ranking scientists are incinerated. The saboteur employee, John David Wells, right there, Cesarian, is found barely alive and clutching stolen national security documents. But when ruthless government investigator Tuxin, George Papard, who's that guy right there, he is excellent in this. I think he is great. That's actually both of them together there. I think they do a great job in this together. They really play off of each other well. Is assigned to the case. He discovers that Wells's memory has been mysteriously erased. I don't know if you could say that it's mysteriously erased. It's that he was caught in the explosion while escaping, and that's what he loses his memory that way. So I don't know if I would say mysteriously erased. Wells escapes from federal custody, and Tuxin pursues the fugitive in a dangerous game of cat and mouse. With the help of Nicole Devon, who's Christine Belford, she was in Pocket Money, a beautiful woman, Wells begins to piece together the truth about his own shocking past. Is he an enemy spy responsible for the Groundstar massacre? Pardon me. Or an innocent pawn in the deadliest conspiracy of all? Beautifully shot in Cinescope by Michael Reed on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and co-starring James Olsen, the Andromeda Strain, Cliff Potts, Silent Running, and Tim O'Connor from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. And then you get audio commentary, you get the theatrical trailer, and a few other trailers too. For some other films with George Papard, I might actually pick up down the road. So, like I said, there is a twist, and I had to go back and check it out, and because it just didn't really make 100% sense to me. So what did you experience? What did you expect from this film? 1970s, like conspiracy theory, thriller, espionage, like you know, like a Day of the Jackal, or um a Capricorn One, or anything like that was pretty much from the 70s, that dealt with conspiracy theories and not trusting people and all that. And that's what I got. What type of film is it, and does it have a message? Like I just said, it's espionage, it's a thriller, it's a conspiracy theory movie, and but it says, does it have a message? It's the I don't really know if this is a message or not, but it a lot of it does have to do with privacy, which is interesting because it's 1972, Watergate and all that type of stuff. That uh it's basically deals with a lot of like cameras and mirrors, tapping of phones, watching people on security cameras. So, and there is a couple times brought up in the movie about privacy, and that if it deals with the protection of the United States, then people should not have privacy. So I guess there is kind of that a little bit for when it comes to like a sci-fi type of thing. Uh, so that's interesting. What happens in the film? Does the plot make sense? Is it easy to follow? Is it believable? So what happens in the film? We start with our our main character, David, uh, running out of a building that is exploding during a pretty cool credit scene. and he ends up all bloody, faces all bloody, pretty unrecognizable, at a woman's house that she hasn't been there in like a year or so. And she is like questioned by George Papard, and the David is taken to the hospital. His face is practically missing. They basically reconstruct it, and he doesn't. David doesn't know who he is, why he's there, or anything. He knows nothing. He's completely lost his memory, and the doctors say that it's basically from the from the explosion, and and then at some point David does escape. George Papard follows him, doesn't want him dead, but what he wants is to follow David to then find the people that David is working for, like who gave him the money and the resources and faked his documents and everything to start working at this lab that's underground, to get this information that they basically are saying that he's going to sell to like Russia or China. So it becomes kind of a on the run movie. He meets up with the woman in this. She is Nicole, and they start a relationship. There's also a reporter, pardon me, that's oh god, excuse me, that's involved in this. And he kind of wants to start a relationship with Nicole, but she's her parents died, her husband left her kind of all around the same time. So she doesn't really want to get involved in anything. And eventually she does meet David because he's just a blank slate. She kind of falls for him, and he they go out and they hit different spots. They would be in like in a cabin or on the beach or whatever it is, not knowing that George Papard's character is watching them at all times. And then slowly but surely the plot comes together. We realize who's who, because I don't want to get really too much into the ending. And then we have our twist, and which is not a bad twist once I kind of figure, once I looked back on it. The problem is in the trailer, it does say at the very end, um, like, we dare you to figure out the ending of this movie. I figured it out pretty much when I saw the blood on the guy's face when he comes into Nicole's like home. And I was right. So maybe that's just from seeing so many different movies like this that I could figure it out. And I'll give you a hint. There is a movie with Sharon Stone and Tom Berenger called Shattered, um, and that's there's been other ones too. Suture, I think, is one. I even think like Humphrey Bogart made one like back in the 40s or the 50s that's similar to this. But that didn't make me from stop me from enjoying the movie. Um, is it believable? Sure, why not? Is it easy to follow? Except for the ending. Does the plot make sense? Once I figured out the plot, yeah, the twist, yes, it did. Who are the main characters? And what are they like? So we have our three main characters, and so George Papard is Tuxin, uh, Michael Cesarian is David, and Christine Belford is Nicole. And then we do have other, characters and stuff that are in this. Um, what are they? What are they like? Tuxin, or George Papard, is Papard. I keep wanting to say Picard, like Captain Picard. Uh, um, George Papard, he's like a hard boiled. Uh, um, he's not a cop. He's basically one of these guys that if to protect America, if you had to kill 5 people in a room to do it, he would do it. That's the type of character that he is. It's all about the safety and the security of the country. And so, and he also doesn't like giving out information to people, like a reporter wants it, and some other like some civilians that started the Groundstar, like company. He just won't give out any information. Basically, he just won't do it. And I really loved his character. I thought the dialogue was really good in this. I thought everybody played off of each other really well. Um, I thought the dialogue was very quick. It was very fast, and I just enjoyed George Papard really, really a lot in this movie. Um, okay, so we went over. Let's see, who are the main characters? What are they like? Who are the actors playing them? And are they good in the parts? So we all went over that. What is the camera work like? The camera work is very late 60s, early 70s type of work. There are a lot of wide shots. Um, and they there are close-ups and medium shots, but a lot of them are these wide shots where you can see a lot of what is around, and it could be a character here and then a character here, and they would be talking to each other, and then you get to see what's in the center. So I enjoyed the camera work in this and the editing. There aren't a lot of like really fancy shots, like there's not a lot of Dutch angles. There are some over the head shots looking straight down, because there is a George Papard does use a helicopter, so we get a lot of helicopter shots, which is pretty cool. But it's nothing that takes you out of the film. It just, the camera stays with the characters, and it doesn't do anything crazy because it doesn't need to. And I liked that. Um uh if there are special effects, what are they like? No, no, no. It's a thriller. There aren't really any. I mean, there are. David, when we see him at a surgery, he does have. He almost looks like the Frankenstein monster, which is a little, a little ironic because he did play the Frankenstein monster in Frankenstein: The True Story, I believe. I mean, I don't want to be wrong on this. So, let's see, what did he do? Oh, he did a film called Doomsday Flight, written by Rod Serling. I may need to find that. The Flim Flam Man. They shoot horses, don't they? The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. Yeah, Frankenstein: The True Story. And he played the Frankenstein monster. God, that was good. Yeah, he plays the creature. Resurrection of Peter Proud, The Gumball Rally. Um, oh, The Seduction with Morgan Fairchild. He's in that too. Um, he's been in a lot of movies. Stuff like Murder, She Wrote, the Ray Bradbury Theater a couple times, Deep Space Nine, the Peacekeeper with Dolph Lundgren. He's in another film with Cracker Jack 2, Judge Reinhold, Earthquake in New York. Looks like he's kind of getting into some B movies now later on in his life. Oh, The Second Arrival. The Arrival, that's the one with Charlie Sheen, but then there's a sequel called The Second Arrival. Fear.com. He's in that. I did not know that. And I'm absolutely mistaken. I could swear he was in The Man from Atlantis, which was where I started to like him, unless he just looks like the actor, The Man from Atlantis. I could swear they were the same people. No, Man from Atlantis, superhero series. It's Patrick Duffy? Starring Patrick Duffy. Maybe it's not the man from Atlantis I'm thinking of. That is weird. I could swear he was. Yeah, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not Man from Atlantis that I'm thinking of. I could swear he was in something like that, but it's not on here. Such a Gregory. I'm going to look one more time here to see maybe what I'm thinking of. I mean, I know I was a fan of him from Frankenstein, A True Story, and The Resurrection of Peter Proud. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, he's also in Fighting Back, which is a great that's with Tom Skerritt. That's a good Death Wish type movie. I must be on crack. I could swear he was in. Yeah, because all of his TV stuff is listed as the same thing, is all in the same section. Uh he died in 2011 at the age of 70. Huh. Wow. Okay. That is weird. I could swear he was like the man from Atlantis, or there's even a film called the Bermuda Depths that has like a giant turtle, and there's like a little boy and a little girl on the beach, and but the turtle is little, and the girl goes out to sea with the turtle, and the little boy is like calling for her to come back. Then later on, the turtle is like massive. It's like I think a tortoise, like a sea turtle or something, and then she comes back as an adult. I don't think no, it's not listed in his credits. That is bizarre. Okay, all right. I still like the guy. I just got him confused with somebody else. But Lamont Johnson. Let's take a quick look at him. Wow, he's like a huge actor. He's been in a ton of stuff from 1951 all the way up to 1980, and as a director, man. Have Gun Will Travel, Peter Gunn, The Twilight Zone. The Last American Hero, which is not the TV show. This is about a NASCAR driver. Um, yeah, Lipstick. Yeah, that I just watched not too long ago. That's another kind of it's like a rape revenge movie. It's a good film. Yeah, Space Hunter: The Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. My God, am I not? I could. What? This. Did he not direct Visiting Hours? I am insane. So now I have to look up Visiting Hours. Visiting Hours, 1982. This is. No, that was Jean Claude Lord. What am I thinking? I I gotta be on drugs. But it does have Michael Ironside and William Shatner. Lee Grant's in that too. Wow, I am. Oh, it's from Pierre David, who also works with David Cronenberg. He did like the Scanners. But Jean Claude Lord, Visiting Hours, Cover Girl, The Vindicator, Toby Mc Toby McTeague, Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. Wow, I am learning all new things about how wrong I can be about stuff. Wow, okay. That that is bizarre. All right, so let's move on then before I get more stuff wrong. It says, "Are there beautiful scenes?" Yeah, it's nice. It's shot in Vancouver, so there's a lot of trees, a lot of mountains. There's the ocean. That looks really nice. Are there any moments where the camera is used in an interesting way? Not in particular, but the camera is still um, effective in how they use it because it's mostly there to move the plot forward. Did you enjoy the film? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Even if I'm getting most of the things that I thought were wrong. What were its good and bad points? Good is I like the actors, I like the camera work, I like the story, I like the dialogue, I like the editing. I want the soundtrack. I'm gonna see if I can find the soundtrack to this. Very science fictiony. Um, and for a film that is kind of in a way, but not really science fiction. So I definitely want the soundtrack to it. Bad points is I did have to go back and investigate to make sure I understood the ending correctly, the twist. Um, what scene did you particularly not enjoy, and why was it bad? No, I guess I don't think that there's any really. I mean, I don't need for them to spell everything out for me. Which is why I went back and did my own research. Would you recommend this film? Yes, I would. To what sort of people and why? To people who enjoy basically conspiracy type movies, who enjoy, like I said, espionage, thrillers, um, a lot of films in the 70s with like, Robert Redford or Dustin Hoffman, the Marathon Man, or something like Black Sunday that has Bruce Dern in it with the blimp. Those type of movies. I would think that you would probably enjoy this. Um, and then the very last thing on here is, are there any other films you can compare this to? And I just did. So there we go. So that is my review of the Groundstar Conspiracy. And please check it out. I see that it's actually on YouTube. I wonder if it is on anything else. So let's take a look. Maybe it's on Tubi, but I did see that it's on YouTube. And let's see here. Uh, classic. Uh, let's see. Tubi? Maybe? No, because this is mostly it's universal, but it's since it got released by Kino, so it's probably not going to be on Tubi. But it is on YouTube. I did see like 3 people have it on YouTube. The film is, yeah, like 90 minutes, 95 minutes. So you can check it out there. I'm seeing here that it just looks like they removed like, um we got one here, hour and 35 minutes. Got another one here, hour and 35 minutes. So there's at least two people that have it on. It looks like here this one might be in French, but yeah, at least 2 people have it. So it's worth checking out. So All right, everybody. Thanks. I appreciate it. And next time I'll try not to get so many things wrong. Wow. But I learned something, and hopefully so did you. That certain people were not in certain movies and did not direct certain films. So okay. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next reviews after midnight. Okay. Bye.